Well, my husband and I are both products of a very fine independent school in New Jersey, and so it was a natural for us. And I had spent some time as a supervisor of student teachers at Duke, so I had great familiarity with the schools in this area and felt very confident about the experience I had when I visited Durham Academy, that it was a good fit for our child. Our son came, and then our younger son came, and when our daughter, our third child, came to Durham Academy, I joined the faculty as a teacher at that time. I think the role of the preschool at Durham Academy as a preschool division, our job is to welcome families and make them part of the Durham Academy family. I think as teachers, it's our job to make children feel that they are capable of the challenges that will be provided for them. It's the beginning of their academic career, and I want them to go out of the preschool feeling that if they work at something, they can get it done, that school is a fun and exciting place to be, where there will be challenges, but where they will be successful. Well, a typical day begins with greeting the children, and that's probably one of the happiest things I do all day long, because they have wonderful stories to tell me about losing teeth, about grandparents arriving, about trips they've gone on, and other secrets. They might have something special in their lunch that was something new. They'd made cookies with mom or dad the day before. That's a fun part of my day. Then I prepare for the day to come, and that generally involves cutting paper, making copies, arranging things in the classroom so that we're ready for whatever lessons we're going to do. My teaching day involves many different things, and it's never exactly the same day, but it always involves certain elements. We always have a morning meeting during which we share what news we have from home and what we're going to be doing that day, and we usually have an activity that brings the class together. Then we will have a period we spend doing mathematics, practicing mathematics skills, which is mainly manipulative materials. Today we made snowballs. Then we will do a reading period. We'll have a time that we do reading with the kids every single day in the skill books. We have mainly a phonetic approach to reading, but we also do a lot of whole word work. We also have writers' workshops. So all of those take up the curriculum part of the day. In addition to that, we have global studies, and we're now studying China. So we are reading stories about China, and we are making flags and coloring maps and talking about the Chinese zodiac. We're also, at this particular time, doing a special unit on heroes, which leads up to Martin Luther King's birthday. And so today we actually read about Gandhi, which was really exciting because we have a child who was very excited to tell us that his daddy came from India, where Gandhi came from. At 1 o'clock is when our school day ends and my administrative day begins. And I mainly go to meetings. I fix equipment that needs fixing around here, like the laminator. I do paperwork for the faculty, and I do a little bit of schlepping, which means going to Sam's and getting spoons or paper plates or other things. We share that responsibility, but that's one that falls on me frequently. Well, I like to read. I love to read. I read sitting down, and I read when I rake, and I read when I cook, and I read when I iron, and I read when I do boring tasks, because I belong to Audible, and this is a plug for Audible. I love listening to books. I'm a news junkie in addition to that, so I listen to podcasts too. Because I'm interested in technology, I listen to Mac Break Weekly and the Tech Weekly, and I also listen to a lot of news programs on podcasts. I listen to Slate, which is a daily podcast they put on that's mainly about news, sometimes culture, sometimes sports. I walk our dog, and I do work out. I can't say I like working out, but I have a fabulous trainer, and we have wonderful political discussions, and so I enjoy doing my training time, which I do twice a week. Well, I thought about that, and I went to Vassar, and I went to Columbia University, and I went to Duke, and I was exposed to a lot of PhDs, but I've learned a whole lot more from the 5-year-olds. And I don't think any teacher really learns until they enter a classroom and deal with children. But what I've really learned is that the things that we think are important are not necessarily important to children. And the most important gift we can give our kids is a gift of time. It's a thing that we have seemingly very little of, and so they understand that it's valued more than anything. And I think what really brought this to mind for me was a number of years ago when we had an ice storm. And it was miserable in Durham. I mean, it was cold, and there was no way to get warm because nobody had any heat. We had no television, we had no heat, we had no way to cook, some of us. So one of the things I found out when we came, and of course we had to call off school because there was no heat. So when we did come back to school, I decided I was going to ask the kids what the experience was like for them. And I found that they all loved it. And as I thought about it, and they would report these things about, oh, we got to sleep at my dad's office, and we got to have breakfast for dinner, and we got to go out and watch Daddy cut down wood so he could put it in the fireplace. And I realized that what they are really missing is that family time, and that's a time they really want to be with family. And so what I try to tell people every year when I meet the preschool parents, I say, enjoy this minute, have this time with your kids and enjoy it because it's really worth more than anything.